One of the things that makes your books magical is the couch. And today's topic is the magic of the under the couch. And I think this is so cool because to think of something that becomes magical, a portal or any type of thing, makes kids really, really excited. So, what inspired the magical concept of an ordinary couch becoming a portal to other worlds? Was there a specific moment or childhood memory that sparked this idea?
Well, the whole series was based on some things that were happening in our lives or in my life at the time when I was writing them, or at least inventing the stories and telling them to my kids. So, as you know, the 12 books in the series are based on my two boys. And the insight behind the Under the Couch was that we had just moved, just like the family in the stories, and just uprooted the boys again. And in this new house, we got this oversized couch, which was actually in the model home. So, not sure what the history of the couch was, but my youngest, Justin, played under there and he would disappear. He would be playing with his little cars and stuff. And so, when I started to tell them stories about the two of them, it just kind of made sense that something happened while he was under the couch. And of course, kids love magical worlds. So, it all just came together where I could impart stories and life lessons through them through this portal that led to this under the couch world.
Every fantasy element in the series seems to mirror real life lessons like courage, empathy, or resilience. What do you want young readers to learn from the magical adventures under the couch?
There's a few things that I wanted them to take away as they are on these adventures with these two boys in this under the couch world. The first thing is that using their imagination and be thinking creatively is a way for them to address a lot of the things that happen on these adventures. So really thinking for themselves. Another theme was working together, the power of teamwork. As you know, in the first story, they're stuck and they can't get back, and they learn they have to work together. Here are two brothers who were always fighting, and they're stuck in this predicament, and they learned they had to work together. So I think there's that theme of teamwork there. Another theme that I want the readers to learn is about fear. They were able to, once they put the fear aside, be able to look at something objectively and figure things out. But it's always the fear of the unknown. But the fear you see paralyzes, especially the older character, and the younger one who has no fear was able to approach things creatively. So, there's that whole saying, "What could I achieve if I had no fear?" Or fear paralyzes. So it's really about getting beyond fear, understanding what we fear, and just approaching things bravely. So throughout, there's a lot of lessons throughout every single book in the series that hopefully the kids take away while having fun reading it.
So each book takes readers to a new and mysterious world. How did you come up with some of these unique places and rules that govern them?
So the rules that govern them is just coming from a parent perspective that, there are still rules in this under the couch world. Even though it's a fantasy place, there's real danger and there's real consequences to breaking the rules. So hopefully it was helping kids to see, you can't lie, you can't steal, you got to treat people with respect. All of the same rules that are in the real world apply to the under the couch world, and there's nobody but themselves to save them, right? In this under the couch. So just trying to think of really fun places that I would have wanted to have gone as a kid or as an adult, like on a spaceship, like to another world where, they play these really magnificent sports and, just different settings that I thought would be fun for kids, but got them in a little danger and taught them some life lessons.
Even though it's fantasy, the story feels grounded in real family dynamics, emotions, and challenges. How did you strike that balance between everyday life and magical adventure?
So the everyday life was based on exactly what was happening in our lives at the time. We had just moved, started a new school, had a nanny that was new to them, the fighting of the brothers, the parents being gone a lot and working all the time and being stressed. So all of those elements were real life that were happening in the day to day. And the fun thing was for the kids to be able to have this escape and go to these magical worlds. But a lot of the lessons, even though, the situations changed with every single book and every single adventure, some of the lessons and some of the foundations and learnings that they had, and there's challenges, there's strengths and their challenges carried into that world. So if they, the oldest character, was kind of an introvert and, not as just reckless kind of as the younger one, or had troubles making friends, all of those things played into the under the ground, the under the couch adventures, but they were able to really bring their strengths to life through these magical adventures.
The couch seems like more than just furniture. It's almost a character of its own. What does it represent for you and for the readers?
So the couch as a portal became this mystery, this magical, this what could be, this fantasy. So for me, it just became a really fun portal that if you look at it, the parents just looked at it as a piece of furniture, but for the kids, it was an escape. It was a way to go into a magical world and really experience all those things that they wanted to experience and that were being brought to life through books that they read or heard. So it just became a portal to adventure and a portal to the kids really being on their own, working together and learning some wonderful life lessons while experiencing things they couldn't in everyday world.
Through their adventures, Spencer and Justin often face choices about honesty, bravery, and teamwork. How intentional were those lessons, and how do you hope kids take away from them?
Yeah, the lessons in the Under the Couch series is very intentional. Look, I've learned through my own kids and through my own life. We all learn from not just being told or reading something. You learn through life experiences. So I experience is the best teacher. So I was hoping that through these two characters learning things, like for example, in Candy, which is book 7, they go to, Justin really loved candy, and they went to this magical place where there were all these delicious candies, and it was a big, big place. And the sign said, "Do not steal." Right? Do not touch the candy. And he did, and he had to face the consequences. So it's one of those lessons was, he didn't think he was being watched, but it doesn't make it okay. You don't break the rules just because you don't think you're going to be caught or you're in a different world. So it's just teaching the foundations and the morals and the ethics, and that carried through. And they learned that there were real dangers and consequences in these magical worlds.
You mentioned the series was written for reluctant readers. How does the
Yes.
use of magic help engage kids who might otherwise resist reading?
So for me, a reluctant reader is somebody who just struggles with picking up a book. It's just daunting to them. But also, some of the reluctant readers just have focus issues. So try to make these really fast-paced and interesting for the slightly older reader. Let's just say somebody who's 10, 11, and 12. So if they pick up these smaller books, like 100 pages, it's very interesting to them because there's a mystery, there's some fantasy, it's very quick pace. There's danger. So for me, it was how do I get a reluctant reader to want to pick up these books and not just read the first one, but read all 12? What's that hook? And that's why they go in order. And there's something going on all the way through, and they don't learn until the last book what really was happening. But fast paced, interesting, it would be great if every reluctant reader could pick up these books and just enjoy reading them because they're easy to read, they're fast to read, but also they're really interesting and keep their attention.
Do you see the magical world under the couch expanding beyond books, maybe into short films, interactive experiences, or other media for kids?
Oh, I would love that. I would love to see these brought to life by somebody who's even more creative than me. So the answer is yes. Wouldn't that be fun to have them be a short series or movies or whatever else? That would be a dream come true, Neil.
Well, with the ability now, with video production, with AI, we can make these characters come to life pretty easily by uploading the photos. So that will be
Love that.
interesting to look at how that happens. So go to underthecouchbooks.com and pick up the books today. Appreciate it, Susan.
Thank you so much.
That was a special simulcast.